Clash Royale.
Come back here. Stats is taking game number 1. Get out there, let your friends know that we have an epic PvP here to decide which Protoss player will advance to the round of 4. Game number 2 starts right now. I'm flipping the pages, rattling cages in the Asian man. Carry on into the night.
Here we are on Frost, one of our icier maps in the pool, and up in the top left, in the red, one of our Protoss players here up a game. It is Stats. Says, go up and get your revenge, go to the round of 4.
All right.
Finals.
Well, down in the bottom left-hand side of Frost is our blue Protoss player on SK Telecom. He is Classic.
Summer Classic. Classic Summer. Let's make it a Classic Summer.
I feel like
Please
it's
win.
the summer of just about everyone by this point in time.
It's the summer of Shake Shack, man.
Oh my God.
The line out the door of that place every single day at any given time is
actually
massive.
insane. It just opened up right across the street from the SPO studios, and every time I walk to the studio, I'm like, hey, you know, I'll just stop by and no, there's 1,000 people in line there. It is super popular right now.
I was actually thinking of getting it before the broadcast, and I asked you, like, hey, are there still massive lines there? You're like, yes.
I was like, LOL, no way, man. That is that's going to be something we have to do when we have 45 minutes to chill waiting in line, but back to the actual StarCraft here. As much as people want to know about our restaurant preferences, somebody's out there, it's like, talk about the PvP. It's like,
You're not analyzing the map.
it's like, no, they're actually just doing the same builds. So not a whole lot of deviation here to start things off.
One thing we can mention is that Super, one of our Protosses in PvP, actually likes to go Nexus first on this map. But Hero, he actually did it twice against Hero, and Hero's like, I think he lost to it the first time, but the second time he's like, no, not again. You're getting owned this time, man. And
so yeah, no Nexi first, no trying to get out to that early advantage, just keeping it careful. There is the Star Gauge, just placed down in the back of Stats.
Yeah, there we go. So Stats gonna steal the build of Classic from that last game. We'll see if Classic steals the build of Stats here. I mean, it's slightly different because in the last game they got their Nexi out a bit faster, and it looks like Classic is going for the same build as game number 1 himself with the Nexus very early on here.
This is the anything you can build, I can build better. Stats trying to take a little bit of a page out of that book. We'll see if Classic continues to do things like shading his adepts all the way into the Stalker-filled mineral line. Probably want to cut that part out of the build.
You want to avoid that, yeah. Not a good part of the build, for sure.
So you guys can learn from pro gamers, both from their successes and from their less than successes. That's my my PC way of putting it.
That's a good way to put failures. Less than successes.
Yeah, man. The no matter who wins or loses, they're all top 8 players in this tournament.
Very true. Top 8 players in this tournament and top 8 players in terms of points for WCS.
Top 8 in the world. Well, it depends on how you want to rate those. But, forces out an overcharge. We'll take out at least one adept, and the next one will fall.
This is where it kind of makes sense, you know? This is you come in with 2, you try to snipe a couple of probes, which he did, and that's it. You know, you don't overcommit with 4 and not target probes.
Even that Stalker's here.
You force overcharges.
This is not going to be the fight you want to fight. 4 versus 2.
He just wants to pull those Stalkers out of position. Look at the Oracle coming in on the left side.
Okay, it's not actually going into the main from the other route. It is actually just taking the closest position. And actually, yeah, great positioning. We'll be able to take out a few of these probes.
There you go, just getting a couple, but a nice bit of damage already in this game. Ooh, he's going to go into Void Rays.
Void Rays. Rays of the Void.
That's what this expansion should have been called. Rays of the Void instead of Legacy of the Void.
I don't know how you fire a Ray of the Void. I guess they
just like
they
a Void Ray. Look at that! Snipes 2 sentries and gets out with both.
Oh my god. Stats is actually just so sick. able to take out those sentries. Those will not be building up energy. He's got Stalkers continuing to just poke in here at the front and continuing to stress these Stalkers from Classic at defending.
Ooh, he keeps it alive again!
God!
Look at that.
So sick. And now he's going to have to leave that one there to regenerate its shields.
I think he's gotten 5 probes in total. It's a nice bit of damage. And now he's scouted the Warp Prism. He's like, yeah, I dare you to drop. I dare you to drop.
Oh, the Void Ray perfectly positioned. This Warp Prism is out of there. He's trying to like... okay, well, he will be able to escape, but I was confused about that drop right there. It's like, no, one Adept, just screw you, man. You are not making it back to base.
Get out of here. We got to be lighter to get back faster.
Sorry, we're going to dump the cargo overboard, guys.
Sorry,
that was the Jonah Adept. Got to get him out of there to get our fortune back.
So we are going to see some transitions here in tech. Robotics facility coming down for stats. He does not have a Twilight Council, just that Stargate, and a Twilight Council here for Classic. He, of course, already has that robotics facility, but at the same time, Stats is looking to pressure here. He's got 2 Void Rays and kept both of his Oracles alive as well. Let's see what he can do. He's got 2 of everything. 2 Adepts, 2 Stalkers, 2 Void Rays.
This is the Noah's Ark build, man. We're going forward. Nice force fields there. Blink, though, finishing and allowing Classic to save those Stalkers. That's what SOS means, man. Save our Stalkers.
Save our Stalkers. And he snipes a pylon, but he sees the huge warping of Stalkers, and he's like, nah, I can't really make this work. He gets a little bit of damage done, but that's about it. Just going to back off.
And just more gateways coming up in the main. I'm not sure what to think about this. The point we find ourselves in this game, Valdez. Stats with lots of early pressure, but it's actually Classic that goes for the first third base.
Kind of interesting. He knows that Stats did back off, and just the tech that he chose to with the Stargate committing to that many Void Rays, he knows that perhaps the robotics facility is going to be late, so he's going to be lacking on his scouting. So just throwing it out here. I would have liked to see him take the other base, actually, just to keep it hidden for longer and easier to defend. But this one is a nice point to attack from. You can get some pylons down there and defend there as well with overcharges. It's not too hard with the choke, with that hole in the ground you guys can see on the mini-map. If Stats comes from the right side.
All right, well, Classic is going to at least try to maybe not move out, but at least defend his third base that is just now completing. Stats has 400 minerals, more units. We'll see if he can put those to work. Here comes this Void Ray trying to deny this Warp Prism from getting in there for any early harassment, and it does. Push that back.
You can see that Classic, even with his base, is way up on supply here. I think Stats is just very heavily teching right now. He went into a Templar Archives that's actually going to get scattered right now here from Classic. Whereas Classic, he's just been focusing on making a lot of units. And that's about it. You see he's got a nice big army for now. And finally, Stats begins the unit production here, going to add in a bunch of Archons. That's kind of where we're at in this meta, where people figured out that if you just make a ton of Adepts with Resonating Glaives, it's really strong. So people started to get a lot more Archons because they do great against the biological Adepts. And I don't know, maybe we'll see another shift in the meta eventually.
Yeah, they're not fraternal Adepts, they are biological Adepts. Nice tag there on the entire army. Oh my god.
Wow.
He's lighting it up, man. The NSA is so jealous right now. They wish they had that kind of surveillance.
Yeah, just tag the area and you can see everything.
That is very, very true.
Everybody's movements. No, it's fine. They already know.
So, yeah, third base coming up for Stats as well, so at least he'll be on par, but it is behind. It hasn't been saturated or completed just yet. Yeah. There it is. The third base for Classic.
I just realized something. Classic is not getting any attack upgrades here, whereas Stats already has +1 and he's halfway done with +2. That's part of the reason why his army is smaller here. And it's kind of interesting
too because better.
Yeah, he made 2 Void Rays too, which are not going to benefit from those upgrades. But I mean, look at this army here of Classic. It's gigantic.
It's gigantic. He's got a better economy behind that, and he's actually just being able to put it into more and more army. Okay, that's not actually a real Phoenix. You don't have to worry about that one too much. But yeah, this army from Stats actually just needs to go home. It is so slow, but he can't run from the shades. Coming in, Stats is going to be forced to fight a fight he will not win.
And here we go. We'll see how he can do. The Oracle even getting in a little bit onto the Adepts there in the back. +2 is not yet done. We still need 10 more seconds, and we're fighting this fight here. Looks like Stats, as you were saying, forced to fight this fight, but not really working out for him.
Does survive for a moment longer, but yeah, Classic crushing that with a clearly superior unit comp.
Yeah, and just more stuff at the end of it all. Now Stats has to go back with his tail between his legs. Nice bit of harassment here, but is he going to be able to defend at home? That's the real question.
I mean, that's just so many Adepts, too. And a lot of Stalkers were killed off in that last engagement, so there might not be enough anti-air to deal with any of these Void Rays that are left over. We'll definitely see double overcharge just to push this Classic force back. And if you just look at the army supply, it doesn't really tell the whole story because of just where this where the army is. Now, Adepts versus Adepts will be, I don't know, I guess they are actually clearing each other up.
Oh, but look at this Stats. He wants to take the fight here. There's not a lot of anti-air. That Void Ray is going to be just chilling in the back, doing a lot of damage, but there's so many Adepts here from Classic.
That Void Ray is actually so good right now. Classic actually saves one of his Archons at very, very low shields. Need to micro that and see how effective this is. Yeah, that one Void Ray gonna have to do a lot of work, but it does look like the defense is strong for Stats.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's part of the other reason why you get these Void Rays. It's so good against all these Adepts because there's so little anti-air.
That's actually just shading all the way by all of that, but this is not going to be a defense that will work out. Or Archons, rather, do take down that Void Ray, and now there's just not enough left over for Stats.
He's desperately trying to hold on here with an Oracle and the last of his Mothership Core energy for some overcharges, and you know what? There isn't any anti-air here, so he's actually doing a nice bit of damage. Okay, there you go.
Another last.
That Archon is so low
it's
too.
So low, it has like 5 shields left on it.
Stats, though, he's really hurting. He doesn't, have many units even at this point. But Classic is. It seems like he's a bit scared. He's like, oh, I can't really kill him right now, I guess. And Stats, he's been very consistent about this kind of defense over here. Is the Mothership Core nearby? Doesn't look okay.
Yeah, there it is.
Below.
Hello, Mothership Core. Fancy meeting you here. It's going to overcharge to clear up that harassment. But meanwhile, Classic going in for yet another very strong push in onto the third base, shading in, and there's just nothing to deal with this. GG.
Classic going to take a game off of Stats. And doing it in a very nice manner. Arguably, Stats making a big mistake there in the middle of the map. He had no scouting or information on the army of Classic, and he was like, I think I can fight now, but you can't really do that when you know your opponent is going for a heavy Adept composition because they're gonna catch you. You can't be caught out there in the middle of the map.
Yep, and for our 4th chapter of the Telecom War, our strong and steady chapter, looks like it's going to go on for a little bit longer as we make this essentially a best of 3 with that win by Classic, evening up the score.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting to see where we go from here. I was thinking Stats was going to take this 3-0 or 3-1, so my 3-1 prediction is becoming a little bit more possible here. The 3-0 obviously impossible at this point, but looks like we are going to go to a quick commercial break as we did in the first set eventually here. So guys, grab your popcorn, go bring your cat to watch